Around the NFL with Shay Norling. Shay?
It is draft week. I'm going to be all NFL draft all week, culminating on Wednesday with the official Snorling mock drafts. I'm very excited. Very excited to put these out there for the Chicago Bears on Wednesday.
Yes.
Today, Adam Schefter had a bunch of nuggets in his column at ESPN, and I wanted to ask you about a few of them. The first, why the Cardinals are in the catbird seat. Schefter says Ossenfort is sitting in the Ossenfort, the GM in Arizona, sitting in the eyes of one coach, quote, in the catbird seat. He sits at number 4 and can take all the calls he wants. With quarterbacks presumably going off the board, the 3 picks in front of him, the draft effectively starts with the 4th pick in Arizona. Are the Cardinals in the most enviable position in this draft?
Okay, so the Bears get their quarterback. Washington gets their quarterback. I mean, I know there's a lot of love for Jayden Daniels, and so Drake may possibly go into the Patriots at 3. We'll see, or maybe it's vice versa. But at 4, Cap, do the Cardinals, I mean, it won't be a quarterback, but it could be offensive line. It could be defensive line. It could be wide receiver. Marvin Harrison's right there if they want it at 4.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say the team at number 4. What was your term? How did you phrase
Control
it?
it.
The most enviable position in the draft.
Yeah.
No, the most enviable position in the draft is number freaking 1. And we've got it. But number 4 is nice if you're not taking a quarterback, and they have come out and said, we're all in with Kyler Murray. He's QB1. So they're not looking to do that. So they get their choice of the non-quarterback players. But, I mean, they need a lot out there.
So, Shay, do you believe with the question that you asked or the comment that you made? So, if the Cardinals take a wide receiver at 4, do you think we get a short run on wide receivers from there?
Yeah,
Or does that push Alt down? How does that look to you?
If they take a receiver at 4, I think Marvin comes off the board. I think the Chargers are probably a little more interested in Alt, which means the Giants are going to be a little more interested in Neighbors or Adunze. I think if they end up staying there and taking a receiver, the likelihood of all 3 of them falling to the Bears significantly shortens. But I don't think they're going to do that because push comes to shove. When their pick is up at number 4, I think the Broncos are going to be on the phone. The Raiders are going to be on the phone. The Vikings are going to be on the phone. Teams are going to want to move up and get that pick.
And they need a lot. It's not like they go, well, we're ready made. We just need a receiver or a tackle.
Arizona?
Yeah.
And that's where maybe like they're not getting Caleb Williams, so it's not the most enviable position, but they're going to get a boatload for a pick that otherwise wouldn't have fetched it because the draft effectively starts there.
It'll be super cool, man. And I hope.
I get it.
I'm sure Poles has already spoken with them about what it would cost to move up there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I get what you're saying, Shay. 1, 2, 3 quarterback, and then the wild card is what are the Cardinals going to do, and then what are you willing to offer if you want to get up there?
Now, the Patriots could throw a wrench in this and say the draft starts with us and decide to trade out of 3. But the stories that I'm reading in this Adam Schefter article, that all signs continue to point to Washington taking Jayden Daniels, number 2, Drake May, number 3, New England Patriot.
Yeah, there's talk that New England is entertaining trading out of that pick. We'll see.
It's a tough thing, man. Like Robert Kraft, I remember at the owners' meeting, said the number 1 priority for him is getting a top-flight quarterback in this draft. It'll be difficult for Elliott Wolf to explain why he traded out of 3 if Drake May's there. That's a tough thing to explain to an owner who's on the record saying, I want a quarterback.
Unless he says Drake May's not good enough.
And Kraft's other quote, don't hire Bill.
Correct.
Here's Shay Norling. Shay.
That's correct.
On the topic of the Patriots moving down, Schefter talked about that, said the Patriots could trade out at 3 and then do an Arizona type of move and trade back up. So they could trade out of 3 for whatever they decide they want to get picks-wise, and then move back up in the draft to try to vulture J.J. McCarthy in that top 10.
Are the Patriots afraid that Drake May won't be there and going to play some chicken with Washington?
That's kind of what it feels like. I feel like the Patriots are thinking, like, if Drake May goes off the board in front of us, we have to have some feelers out there. But if he's there, I think you just take him.
Yeah, like if he falls to you at 3, it's there. But I would not take Jayden Daniels if I'm the Patriots.
No.
I would take J.J. McCarthy for a flyer because Brissett's ahead of him, right? Is he number 1
Brissett
right now?
is number 1 now. So you're telling me that if the Washington Commanders select Drake May, quarterback, North Carolina, you're telling me if you're New England, you don't take Jayden Daniels?
I would not know.
I wouldn't.
And so what would you do then?
Well, I would probably end up taking JJ at 3 is what if I were New England, because here's the problem. Like, I get the fantasy of trading down and then trading back up so you can select your quarterback, but talk about a gamble. Because if you trade down and somebody else decides they're going to vulture you and go and get JJ McCarthy, then you're screwed. Then you're going into this season with maybe Bo Nix and Jacoby Brissett. Like, you just miss out on the premium player. I think when you have the 3rd pick in the draft and no quarterback, don't think too hard. Get the premium quarterback.
Cap, you know what this is in New England? You know what this is? This is like the Bulls trying to replace Michael Jordan with Pete Myers or Jalen Rose. I mean, trying to fill the shoes of Tom Brady, like that legacy has been so cemented. Like, we're going back to Rod Rust right now, this Patriots team. Wow. No, seriously, like you're trying to get the best quarterback available, but there is that pressure of the Brady regime, of the excellence that was the New England Patriots. They got to get this right, or they're going to be just spinning their wheels like they used to, previous to Belichick and Brady being there. You and I remember how bad the Patriots were. Their pop-up championship against the Bears in '85. They were okay, but they were not stellar. This doesn't. If they don't get this right now, it's going to be a problem. All that winning in this post-Belichick and Brady era, whew, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, I will be surprised if Jayden Daniels isn't gone in the top 3. I'll be surprised.
Sure, Washington could take him, sure. You want the next RG3? Go ahead. Can you squeeze in one more? Wow. And before the injury, he's not bad, by the way, right. RG3.
Both teams from the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago were being rumored to potentially trade up. Eagles in need of a defensive back, and Howie Roseman loves to move up in the draft.
Yes.
And the Kansas City Chiefs picking 32nd and now kind of desperately in need of a wide receiver, as Rashee Rice could be facing jail time. I don't know if he's going to play this year. The Chiefs may be in the interest of moving up from 32 to draft a wide receiver. Granted, that's probably the deepest position in this draft. I mentioned last week, 100 of CBS Sports, or 17 of CBS Sports top 100 prospects were wide receivers.
You know what? I can't wait. From your mock draft standpoint, Shay, I'm interested in 1 through 9 on your draft as much as I am 32. I can't wait to see what gem you're going to pull out of there for the Kansas City Chiefs. Great organization, solid front office. I want to see what gem they can find in the bottom of this draft to say, oh my God, how come the Bears, like that kind of thing? Because that's what Kansas City is. Like, I can't wait to hear your number 32 pick because you know it's going to be solid. It's the way the Chiefs do it.
Yeah, and there'll be a good player sitting there. There will be. I mean, I'm not trading back to 32, but
is there a Lamar Jackson down there?
I don't think it'd be the Bears, but could they trade up to 17 and try to get wide receiver 5 instead of wide receiver 10?
As you see, the Chiefs are as close to the Patriots as possible as far as, hey, we don't have stellar wide receivers across the board, but Mahomes can make these guys on the roster. And we saw this, the ebb and flow of this past season, right? Right, Shay? I mean, we saw this. Like, guys that were substandard at the position, but Mahomes was making those guys. Just like how Tom had to do that with the Patriots. Substandard at the wide receiver spot, but still winning, finding a way, because the system supersedes everything.
And this Rashee Rice deal has really kind of thrown them a bit of a curveball. They're going to have to figure out what they want to do with wide receiver.
And you're saying he would be in jail, and that's why he couldn't play?
I don't know if he's actually going to get jail time, but he's facing multiple charges. I don't know that he's going to play.